Hello everyone. So today's video is gonna be a bit different. As you may probably notice, I'm no longer in the room I usually film in. It's because I made a move to Switzerland, and I just wanted to give you all an update and talk a bit about the experience so far. So this is the second time I come here to Switzerland, and I'm living in exactly the same city and actually even the same dorm as last time. And last time was exactly 2 years ago, and I was here for an exchange semester. And now I'm back for an internship. And honestly, so far, I feel there has been a bit of change in the city. I've been here for a month. But like very minor changes. I feel overall the vibe is the same, the people as well, but maybe it's mostly me that has changed rather than the city itself. Compared to last time, I feel I'm more grounded and more at ease with the fact of living alone. And with that being said, when it comes to living conditions, I feel this time was easier than last time because I've already had lived 1.5 years on my own so far, and this is like the completion of the 2 years of living on my own. I do go back home very often, so this is a bit hard to not be able to see home for at least a few months. I might go back home in a few months because I'm starting to miss everyone, but so far so good. So I feel the difference between last time being a student and now being a full-time intern is a bit like the difference between being completely free with your time, well, not completely free, but having way more free time on your hands, way less responsibility as well. But at the same time, I feel it hasn't been too much. Maybe the first few weeks because I had to juggle getting settled in and also getting familiar with work, which wasn't as I expected. My role here was supposed to be more practical rather than research oriented, but the past month I've been only doing research, and honestly it hasn't been the most fun thing to do because originally I'm not a research master's student, so it was a bit hard to get used to everything and to understand what I'm supposed to do. But rather than really be like, no, I'm not supposed to be doing research, or I hate this or whatever, I really try to see it as a new challenge and an opportunity to actually learn how to do proper research that I would probably use for other endeavors. And of course, as every experience of leaving your hometown and home country, it's a bit hard to accept the different culture and the different way people do stuff here. But I feel it's completely easier than last time because I almost knew what to expect. Of course, the context is different this time because I'm working rather than studying, and I feel it's a very lucky place that I'm at now in my life, because 2 years ago I didn't expect that I would have the chance to come back here, whether it's for studies or for work, because Switzerland is pretty hard to get opportunities in, and I did my fair share of trying to get opportunities back here, but as a non-EU citizen, it's pretty hard. And I feel also the biggest maybe thing that I've been thinking about is how I would try to build a life outside of my country, without the people I most love, because I've been noticing that most of my time, when I go back home, most of my time is spent either doing chores or calling family, calling friends, and I feel that virtual barrier between you and the people you love is not something I'm willing to do long term. Maybe that's one of the things that I noticed was different this time. And I feel that last time I thought more seriously about staying here or staying somewhere that isn't my home country. But at the same time now, like the way I see how difficult it is to keep up with everyone's lives away from you, it's very hard to keep up with it. And also when it comes to holidays and events that are usually celebrated in my home country, and now I'm just here and I'm not celebrating anything, I feel that's a bit tough as well. And I noticed that the time that I'm being distracted or I'm doing something like being on a call with a friend or doing chores or trying to get something done, helps with not missing people and helps with keeping yourself occupied. But at the same time, I feel the moment I'm not distracted enough or the moment I'm not being stimulated enough, I get super sad and super miserable, I'd say. And I think that doing that like for longer would make me not well mentally, I will say that. But yeah, the advice would be for people who are abroad or away from their families is not to have too much free time, because that way you will start having not much of a happy thoughts, I would say like that. And I also feel that with everything happening at the same time and trying to juggle the fact that I want to travel, that I want to advance with my career, that I want to have fun with people that are here, also especially friends that I've kept in contact with for the past 2 years, and finally that I'm back, we can hang out. It's been really difficult to keep up with everything, and in doing that, I feel that I've been spending way less alone time, and with spending way less alone time, you also sacrifice the ability to be more creative and that mental space that lets you create, I will say. I've been playing guitar and I've been trying to read more. I also got a new e-reader, it's not here on the side, but it's been helping with reading more, and hopefully I would be able to write as well very often rather than never. And I also feel that reading and writing is more it takes more mental how would I say this, more mental brain compute I don't know what I just said, but it takes more compute power to do it rather than just scrolling on your phone. And honestly, I haven't been finding time to scroll at all, because who has time to do that when you need to study, you need to learn stuff, you need to take care of your master's thesis here and back home, and in the midst of that make friends and travel and organize everything in your head. And because I only have 5 months, it's exactly the same time I had last time, but because I'm now a full-time intern, it's more difficult to work around it and to actually be able to do stuff outside of work. And I already worked last year for 3 months, so I wasn't very surprised at the rhythm working full-time takes. But at the same time, it was still harder than doing it back home, because back home you don't have much else to do rather than, sustain yourself and try to go back to your hometown to see your family and whatever. But here I feel the weight is way more because you're doing it alone. but thankfully I'm not doing it completely alone, because I have a roommate who comes from the same country as me, and we instantly clicked, so it was really easier to do the things that we do, because like chores or preparing food or hanging out, because it's always better to have someone with you, even if you're initially traveling somewhere where you're gonna be alone. It's very useful to eventually make at least one close friend and to do stuff together, because that way you don't isolate yourself. I feel the worst thing you could do when you're abroad is to isolate yourself and to completely have all experiences and all the responsibilities on you alone. And even though I felt that wasn't a problem when I lived alone in my home country, but abroad is completely a different story, and it would be nice if they're also from the same country as you. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have this after almost more than 1 month. I think 1 month. I came here on the 2nd of February, so it's been a month and a few days. And yeah, stay tuned for next videos, I hope, and see you.